Hello everyone and welcome to my new series on YouTube here. It's called Access Train Shed and well, this is why it's called Access Train Shed, because I built a train shed and a lot of rails and stuff. And what I'm gonna be doing in this series is building trains in scrap mechanic and updating existing trains and showing all the techniques behind building trains. And for today's video I'm gonna be updating one of my older trains. It's the NS521. I made this a while back, and it's based off a real life diesel shunter locomotive. And I'm gonna be updating this. I'm gonna be changing the coupler. I'm gonna be changing some things on the inside, and I'm gonna be changing it. So, well, first I'm gonna give you a little walkthrough here. So this is the shed. It has two parts, well, three actually, because there's a little office here, but I still have to decorate it. This is the main workspace workshop part. It's this one rail, and I'm gonna be putting all kind of machines and stuff right there, to decorate it a bit as a workshop. And this is the where I'm gonna be storing trains, but it lags a lot because it's quite a big thing, and if I put a lot of stuff here, it lags a lot. And this is these are just all yeah, this is basically just a rail yard, and you can also see there's a curve going off from there, and I might add a lot of track there just to ride with trains. I might put my station there, which is on the front page of the workshop this week, which is really cool. Everybody go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Anyway, so yeah, let's start with today's video. So what I'm first gonna do is make sure the switches are correct here. Let's open the door already. Let's close this door. And I'm gonna be shunting this shunter to the big locomotive workplace. So let's step on the footplates and turn on the lights. And we're gonna be turning on shunting lights, and we're going to go backwards. As you can see, this thing really lags, and the reason it does so is because it has 6 springs. You can see my computer turning into a slideshow. It has 6 springs, and inside it uses something with bearings and springs to see. Oops, we're almost crashing into the switch. I shouldn't have done that. On the inside it also uses a certain system with springs and bearings to determine which direction you're moving into. This is a real slideshow. So that's one of the main reasons I want to update this lag machine. So let's try to get it moving again. Maybe once it reaches this part it starts lagging a little bit less. Yeah, my FPS is going up again. We're at 12 FPS again. Wow, that's so much. Oh, 28 now. Great. So let's move this thing into the workshop. As you can see, it goes really bad through curves, which it normally doesn't, but apparently today it does. And also switches. I don't know what it is, but it still uses the flange system instead of the guiding pipes on the inside, which most trains these days use. And that's because back when I built this, there were no terrain asset rails yet, so this was kind of like good enough. But for the terrain assets, everybody's using the pipes that are like here. They stick like this to keep them on the rails. And I'll also implement that on this thing. I'm also going to change the wheels to the way better looking wheels from the train pack. I'm probably going to be doing these ones because they kind of look the same, but they're a little bit different, but they look better. So yeah, let's start with the inside. I'm just gonna cut it open like right here, and I'm just gonna hop inside so you can see what I mean. This machine here uses, if you look at the connections, so this is the standing seat, and when you press any button, it's gonna also rotate this engine, and this setup with springs and sensors determines whether the engine is going one way or the other, because there's some slight delay with the spring, and then it calculates whether you're going forward or backwards, and it's using that for the lights, because if you're going forward, the lights on the front are like these lights are going on. If you're going backwards, these lights are going on. So this is now obsolete because we can replace it with these two blocks. It's from scripted objects mod. It's the W converter and the D converter, so we could just place these here. Let's place them in a nice way. W and D, and we can see that if we push W, the bearing is going to I think this is forward, the red one, but we'll see what it does. If we go forward, so backwards is the green one, and forward is the red one on the top. So these sensors, wait, so this is a memory bit which we can like change. Well, not using a block. Well, we could, but we'll just leave this. This is good enough. Anyway, this is the yellow one is for forward, so we're gonna connect that W there, and the red one is for backwards. So we're gonna connect the D to there, and now we can just remove this and this and this and this. We can remove all this because we don't need it anymore, and that's going to be saving us one bearing, which means less lag, and that's always good. Now we only have to connect the seat to these, to the detectors, and the light system should still be working just perfectly fine. It doesn't. That's problematic. Okay, so apparently I'm just stupid. I was using the D converter instead of the S converter, but backwards is of course S, so that's like really stupid. Let's quickly fix that. And as we can see now, when we go in here, everything should work. So the next step is gonna be the we did this, so let's quickly, what kind of block was it? Heavy. Let's quickly fix this again. The next thing we're gonna change is the springs, because the springs really cause a lot of lag, and yeah, it was just not a good idea to begin with. It added some stabilizing, but I shouldn't have done it. So for this we're going to be putting it on a lift, because else it will fall apart, I guess. So what will happen when I remove one block here? Nothing. Great. So we're going to look for a part that looks like kind of like a spring, but not really. I guess we could just use heavy blocks, why not? And then we can weld this together and paint it all black, and do the same for this here, and this should really help with the lag. Do the same on the other side, spring and spring, like that. Paint it and weld it together, like that. Oh, what did I do? I put the blocks on the wheel. That's not helpful. And weld and weld. So this should help with the lag, because well, every joint, so every spring, every bearing, every piston, they make it difficult for the game to calculate collisions, and collisions are what cause most of the lag in scrap mechanic. So as you can see, this is already a lot smoother. Let's turn on the lights. It's a lot less laggy than it used to be, which is good, because that means that more people can enjoy the locomotive. So does it? Yeah. So the next problem we're gonna be taking care of is that the flanges, they really make it difficult for steering. And well, that's kind of realistic, but because in real life these things are also like, if they go through a curve, the curve starts making all kind of weird noises, because it really doesn't fit actually, but it tries to. So you hear all the rails like making all kind of signs, because they're like shifting in the, well, whatever. So what we're gonna do is replace the wheels and get rid of the flanges and add like guiding pipes. So we're gonna be putting it on the lift again, and this time we're gonna be first removing these, and as you can see, there's also springs here to get the driving rods to move together with the wheels. I'm also gonna remove some of those because they're not really necessary. Just like 2 will do. In fact, probably 1 will probably do. Well, anyway, I'm gonna get a pipe. It's probably the edge mount pipe, if I'm correct. Yes, it's the edge mount pipe. So like that. Let's paint it. We're gonna get the train wheel. This one right here. There's only one way in which you can like put it on correctly, which is the by putting it like either like this or like this, which is like wrong because it's got the curvy side on the wrong side. But we want the counterweight always to be like on the opposing side of the driving rod. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna get these, cut one, and now I can pick it up with the weld tool and rotate it correctly. But I'm also gonna get a bearing. I'm probably gonna get a smooth. I'm just gonna get a normal bearing. I'm gonna put it on the inside because that's where the bearings are on this locomotive, like not in scrap mechanic. Let's give it a nice paint color and let's get the weld tool. And now I'm gonna make sure that the counterweight is on the right side, so that will be the top, and we're welding the wheel to the axle. We're doing the same thing on the other side. So get an edge mount pipe and get a bearing right here. Then get this right here, paint it, and weld it in the correct way, which would be like this. Well, as you can see, everything just looks good. The axle is one part, the frame is one part, and the driving rod is two parts, which it should, because it really looks like this in real life. Because it's like connected to the axle, and the axle has like is driving this. And of course we have this spring here, but I'm gonna remove like in total 4 of those springs, because you actually only need one wheel to make it go round and round. But I want that to be one of the powered wheels, and I'm gonna have the middle wheel. I'm just gonna remove the spring, and probably also the back wheels, the spring. So this is all good. Next wheel, next axle actually. That's how it doesn't collapse when the axle is like removed or something. Edge mount pipe, bearing, wheel. Let's paint it. Get the counterweight weight on the right side. Weld this together. Everything looks fine. Remove this. Bearing, pipe, wheel, counterweight, weight, counterweight, whatever. Weld it. Looks good. And now the last one, we're gonna have to take a look at how we're gonna do the spring. So let's first get this in place. Counterweight on the top. Weld this together. Then get the small spring, or what is it called? I believe it's just like 1x suspension, and it's like right there. But if we put it like a bearing, like a small bearing. No, not a small bearing. We don't need a small bearing. Okay, I'm removing this. I'm getting one of these. So now this is loose. I can put a bearing in the right spot, which is going to be on the opposing side of the counterweight, of course, I believe. Yes. And now I'm gonna get this and weld it to here, and I wonder if it's okay. So it's not the same thing yet, and we cannot weld it like that. We'll look at that later, because we're probably gonna have to take off all these and then like rebuild it. Well, we'll take a look at that later. So let's, oops, I should have maybe done that. So that's what I was afraid of for when I was working on this axle, that it would fall off and then the entire thing would fall down. Anyway, let's do the last one too before we start looking at the little suspension glitch thingy. that is the right side. Let's hook it up. Counterweight like that. So right now everything is fine except it's not hooked up yet to the engine, and the driving rods are just gonna fall down because they're not connected, and the thing wasn't in the middle. So okay, so like this, as you can see, these just fall down because they're not held in place by anything. Same on this side. So the way out I have to fix that is by putting it on the lift again. Let's put it on the lift again, nice and centered, and we're gonna have to take off these blocks on either side, so these two blocks. And what I now have to do is get a pipe piece, like the pipe joint, and is that, yeah, and imagine like this side is gonna be welded to there, so the other side, the bottom side of that is gonna be having the suspension going there, and there's gonna be a bearing on it right there, and this is going to be connected to there. So the bearing is going to be right here, the suspension is going to be let's just do it like this. It doesn't even work. Great. Okay, we won't need these anymore. So hit it, and now we can reach the other side, which is this, and we can now weld this if this is on the lift. So let's put it on the lift again, weld this to the wheel. So now the wheel is going to be connected to, and of course we cannot do that because yeah, that really sucks. I knew I've had problems with this before because it's like, oh yeah, I know how I fixed that. We're removing these two parts here, and we'll place them back later, but you'll see how we do that. So we're gonna weld this part now. We're gonna take it by the suspension, and you see that the bearing that's on the top is going to be connected with the driving rod, and this is going to be connected with there. So I'm going to be welding this together, and this is that I think that it automatically connects the bearing to this part here. So now we only have to give it like a paint color. Let's remove the lift, and as you can see, it sticks together. And when we drive, nothing happens because we didn't connect the engine, which you can, by the way, you can adjust that. That's really cool. One of the features of this locomotive is that you can adjust the engine from inside the cab. Not many people know that. And we're gonna connect this to these two wheels. And I believe this is the correct way because we're placing the bearings on the inside, like facing the axle, we have to do the rotation in the opposite way. And now when we press backwards, oh, actually, no, that's not true. This has to be like that actually. When we press forward, we're going forwards, and so it has to be, okay, we need it to be on at least to keep the, okay, so we're gonna have to do the same trick right here and on the other side. Or maybe we should actually Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing right here. Right here it's a little bit easier though, we just have to place this here, get the pipe join, make sure it's correctly like that, and we're just gonna get the bearing on there and the driving rod, or is not, it's the connecting rod part, the coupler rod on the right, and we connect this, we weld this, and then like that. I think this should actually do it. Let's connect the bearings to the engine. Yes, so that's a problem. Okay, so I think we're gonna have to do it for each of them. Fine. So here we're doing the same, like that. Like that is the correct rotation, I guess. We're welding these two together, bearing the left one, bang it, and weld these two together. Okay, so it's still doing that on this side, so because this is one of those like annoying ones where we have to remove this part before we can put this right here. Yeah, we can actually do this on this side too. Well, this bearing left, weld it, and now okay, so now the real trick comes. I think this is a triangle plate thick, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so let's put it on the rails like correctly. Is this? Yep. Okay, so we didn't really need to remove this here, which was a mistake. Paint that black again. So as you can see, we cannot place, or can we? Oh, we can. Okay, that's new to me. I didn't know you could place things through suspension pieces, but like, cool. I didn't know that. Okay, so it's actually not that difficult. Does this work better? Yes, it does. Okay, so the next part is gonna be, of course, adding a few things to the bottom so that we can make sure it is going correctly through curves. The way I'm gonna do that is place a bearing here, get like a long small pipe. Is that long enough? It's not long enough. Get more pipe. Okay, so like that, and then I'm gonna be taking a B2 OB part, which is from the X Detail mod, and this is a special. This part is especially useful because it's only half a block high. So if you have, for example, I'm just taking a call block here, but if you have something that where the rails is only like one block high, if you use like a normal pipe peep, it's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of friction between the locomotive and the ground. So if you use like a half pipe piece, which is the P2OB part, then you don't have that friction. So it's better than a normal pipe part. I'm gonna paint this all black so you don't really see it. I mean, nobody's gonna see that. Yeah, whatever. Also, now that I'm here anyway, let's just do these weight blocks, because these weight blocks were meant to keep the train on the ground and whatever. Let's try the same trick here. PTOB part. Oops, I actually have to drag it here. I'm so sorry for the orange bearing, but I'm just gonna leave it. So as you can see, this part now sticks between the rails. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. And it's really laggy again for some reason. Great. So what did we do? We did this, right? Okay, that lift is actually not very well placed. Oh, it's so laggy. Slideshow, I'm just gonna put it on a lift. That's better. And we're doing the same thing here. So what did we change? We removed the flanges and we installed these pipes, and that will make it easier for it to go through curves. And also through switches and basically everything. In my experience, it's already running a bit smoother. And it doesn't like wobble as much anymore, because the previous time when we went through a curve it was like really shaking, and this is a lot better. Oh, look at that. Let's try the curve. Still going a steady 17 FPS. Wow. I think it takes the curve really well. Yeah. And we're back in the workshop. So the last thing we're going to change about this locomotive today, before we update it and upload it to the workshop again, is the couplers, because these days almost all my trains use the coupling system made by Dump Things. He's a wonderful creator, go check him out on the workshop. And his coupling system is really simple. So how does this coupling system work? You have two things, like a locomotive and a car, and these have on either side they have this kind of like O-shaped thing, and it can rotate 90 degrees by turning a switch. And one of these you turn, and the other you remove one pipe piece, so that when you close in, like that. And let's hope it doesn't start to lag too much. Yeah, great. So when you close in, you can then add a pipe piece right there, can even paint it the right color if you want. And now they're coupled. So when you push it, it goes like that. When you pull it, it goes like that. And this is a really good coupling system because it like only uses one bearing, and it just doesn't create too much lag. If you have two very large creations like a giant loco and a giant car, then it will lag because they will just like when they get close to each other. But this is, for example, way better than trying to weld them together with bearings and springs and whatever, because the game just cannot handle that. Anyway, we're gonna make the same kind of coupling system for our locomotive. So we're going to remove this this spring on both sides, and we're gonna add a switch. Like, let's try the switch, the tile switch. Kind of like how it looks. Let's add it here, make it black. Then we're gonna add a bearing and pipes. Get the pipe corners, and I'm gonna have to quickly take a look at what height they must be. So I spawned in something small locomotive again, and as you can see, the coupler is on like the third, yeah. Is it the third on the? Oops. Yeah, it's on the third block above the rail. So we're gonna do the same thing right here. The third block above the rail, which would mean that we need a small bend here. So we can also remove this right here. So like this, and then we will add the 6-way pipe piece. Why not? Look good. And small pipe like that. And now we have to turn that into a ring. However, I'm first gonna get a controller block and hide that in here so we can connect this. And now let's make it into the ring. And we have our coupler done. Oh, I'm painting the rails, that's not my intention. So let's do the same thing on the other side. Oh wait, first we have to set this up, so plus 90, switch, that works. Oh, maybe also paint this red before we move on. Let's do the same thing on the other side, so and set it up, so plus 90, and now we should be able to connect or couple this locomotive to this one, but it might start lagging a lot because this has so many joints, because it still has all those it still has all the suspensions from the yeah, you can feel the lag already, but it's not too bad. I only have 8 FPS right now. So we can couple this, and then we can pull it. Maybe it needs a bit extra power, so let's do that. Yeah, look at that. Okay, that's maybe a bit too much. these engines are really strong. Anyway, this is way too laggy, so let's just move this back a bit. And of course it's off center, but that doesn't really matter right now. So I'm gonna put the engine back to its normal speed, like that. Also, one thing I really want to do, which is kind of like stealing that from dumb things as well, is the corner plates right here. Or maybe I should go for the half. I don't know if that's maybe. How did that? Oh no, that's not what I thought. Oh yeah. No wait, I don't think that's what. No. Maybe a half surface panel like that. So you have. Isn't there a half surface panel? Like. Maybe this? No, that's half plate. Is this what we're looking for? Yeah, so you can just have a step up and do the same thing on this side. And paint the controller red, not the buffer. And now I think we're like kind of done, so I'm gonna remove the lift, place this right. No, I'm still doing it wrong after so many times. Let's quickly get rid of this one because it's only gonna be causing lag. And let's do the first official final test. Turn on the lights. Everything is going great. I think we shouldn't change anything anymore. It's done. So, thanks for watching. Leave comments, like, feedback, subscribe, whatever, share it with your friends. Share it in your favorite Discord servers. Join my Discord server, link is in the description. And I hope to see you in the next episode. See ya!